Well, you know what time it is. Whew. We back, baby. Bitcoins, shitcoins, or NFTs. There's no greater feeling than hitting that sweet old time high.
Hello, and welcome to another weekly episode with Zero Cool. How are you, my friend? Oh, I cannot hear you anymore. Zero Cool.
Oh, hello. Sorry.
Yeah.
I am pretty good. Little sleep, but that's okay. On my way back yesterday, while driving home, there were some deer running to the side of the road. And like 2-3 meters from my car, like two hopped into the woods, but the third one like hopped in front of my car, so I had to slam my brakes, which was an interesting experience. So I always need to be safe around these parts of town, I guess, when driving at night, because
Yeah, especially in Canada, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of animals when driving, but never one that like jumps erratically across my car, like 2-3 meters in front of it. But other than that, all good. Crypto is up, so all good, right?
Yeah, it's way up since we talked last week. What's the number? Let's see. Saturday, it's up 10% from last week. So I guess, but we'll do that afterwards. The predictions, you won again. But I think that's fine for me since everything went up 10%. And like I said last week, I was allocated 100%, so fully allocated. I trimmed 20%. If you followed my tweets, you would have known this, and we will talk about why during the stream. So first of all, a big announcement. So maybe you saw it already in the overlay of the stream. So as of right now, we are partnered with PrimeXBT. I'm pretty happy with that because PrimeXBT is an exchange that me and Zero Cool use to trade. It's a very good, reputable exchange to trade futures, to trade contracts. And the good thing is, and I'll talk about this later as well, you can not only trade crypto, but you can also trade Forex, you can trade gold, you can trade stocks. Which is very, very good and very interesting if you want to diversify out of crypto a little bit. So because of the partnership and the promo, so what they did was they made me an affiliate partner website. And what you can do is, so the link is in the description, by the way, you can get, if you sign up with my code, a 20% deposit bonus. So what does that mean is, for example, when you deposit 15K into PrimeXBT, you just get a bonus of $3,000, which is very, very nice. Or there's another option that you get a lifetime 25 discount on CFD commissions. So it's up to you. You can choose what you pick. So very easy. Put on email, password, make a new account, claim the promo, and you're done. So the link is in the description. And as well, so it's not only good for you guys, but you will support the channel as well, which is very, very nice. And then later on, so we're busy. We talked about it last week as well. We're busy setting up a Discord. And so what we're planning on doing is like basically doing the Discord fully free. So not a paid Discord. The only thing we just ask is to make an account with my affiliate link on Prime, and then you just get access to the Discord. So that's something you can do for free. And then you join our basically paid Discord, but it's free. Yeah. So back to the markets. As we said, Bitcoin up 10%. Why is this? So the main reason why I think it's up 10% is because of the elections. As we've talked for a couple of months right now, the market and especially Bitcoin is super correlated with Trump winning. Why? Because if Trump wins, he's super pro crypto. Is pro Bitcoin because I spoke at the Bitcoin conference. So that alone is good for Bitcoin. But as well, and as you guys know, the S&P is correlated a lot with Trump winning. So as you can see, this is a picture I showed a couple of times on stream. When we see the Trump odds of winning going up, you see the S&P going up. It's very, very well correlated. And I've prepared an article from research and brokerage firm Bernstein. And basically what they say is, we believe the recent Bitcoin strength is driven by the return of Bitcoin's correlation to Trump election odds. And that's exactly what I'm thinking as well. So the recent rally that we just saw this week, 10%, is because of the odds of Trump winning went up by 10% as well. So I think last week it was closer to 50-50. Maybe it was 55%. I'm not remember 100%. But the difference is a lot. So the difference is now 6% in favor of Trump winning, 40% for Harris. And I think this led to the short-term rise in Bitcoin's price. As we talked about this every week, it's only important for the short term. I don't think this will have an effect on the medium or the long term. So this is just a short-term indicator of why the price rised this week. I don't think it matters who's in office for in a couple of months now in the medium and the long term. But on the short term, it's definitely something that plays a big role. What did I want to say? What do you think, Cyril, about this?
I don't think it's like a one-on-one correlation. It's not because like people see Trump's odds go up and they buy Bitcoin. It is the ETFs are buying metric tons of Bitcoin, which is driving the price up, and their decision is most likely based on Trump odds going up.
Yeah, it's all connected.
It's a valid theory. We talked about it before. At first, it was maybe a little meme correlation, but now it is quite obvious that there is a correlation, right? Which also means on election day and going into election day, which also was our stance before this happens, there will be volatility, there will be risk off, and on election day itself, I think we're gonna see a candle if Trump wins, like a green god candle.
Well, I thought about this and I saw a tweet of Carpe Noctem about this as well. And basically what we're doing now is with the S&P and with Bitcoin, we're already pricing in a Trump win. So I don't know if he wins, the market is still going to go up because it seems like we're just pricing it in. As you saw last week alone, 10% rise. I think we're just pricing in a Trump win at the moment. I think it will be the opposite. If Kamala wins, then we will see a downwards price candle, insanely down, like 20-30% down, because now we're pricing in a Trump victory.
Yeah, I think the news itself will probably be a spike up. I don't think a 5% candle up and then straight nuke down, I assume. But
or it can be because I see Nick X Crypto is in chat and he's saying Trump wins is sell the news, and that's the thing that happens a lot in crypto as well. Buy the rumor, sell the news. So we'll have to see about that, and that's one of the reasons. So what I said in the beginning, I sold 20% of my positions in Bitcoin, and that's the reason I spoke about it already from August when I made my squiggly line. So basically it amazingly well, it's following amazingly well how I drew it. The only thing it went downwards was when there was a war, but for the rest it follows the direction perfect. And basically how I drew this was based on the news of the elections. And that's why that I think in a week or two, so right before the elections, maybe already in a couple of days, we will be trending downwards because of the election fears. And we see that every year, the moment before the elections, we see the candle going downwards. We see the stocks, S&P, Nasdaq, everything, Bitcoin going downwards. So I'm not sure this will happen again. I think you will have to look at the odds. I think if the odds go closer to 50-50, then we will have election freeze and we will see the market going down. That's why I sold 20%. In the long run, I'm still very much in favor that Bitcoin is going to 100K. I think even 120K this cycle. So everything is looking good. It's just now in the short term, maybe in a week or two, we're going to go down. But the thing is, and like I said, the reason I think we're going to go up is the global liquidity. And that's what I want to talk about as well. I talk about this every week because this is the main long-term driver of Bitcoin. The weekly driver can change from week to week, and we try to discuss this here on the stream. So like I just said, the weekly driver of this week was most likely the elections and the Trump odds going up. Mm-hmm. But the long-term driver of Bitcoin is global liquidity. That's obviously, we see it. Lynn Alden put out a research report. Bitcoin follows the direction of global liquidity, 83%. We know the correlation is very good. Michael Howell posted as well. If there's a 10% increase in global liquidity, you have to do that times 4.5. So that means a 45% rise in Bitcoin's price as well. So we know it's extremely correlated. Unfortunately, global liquidity went down this week. I don't think in the long term this won't have an effect. The only thing is just so today it was the shadow monetary base went down, and this is mostly because the central bank liquidity went down a little bit as well, but most likely also because of the bond market volatility. And the bond market volatility, we can measure that with the move index, and let's put it on the weekly so you can see it. So as you can just see, the bond market volatility went up. So this is now in 3 weeks time by 40%, which is not a very good indicator because now the collateral is not well utilized, and that's why global liquidity trended downwards a little bit. I just think this is like a hobble in the short term. This won't affect global liquidity in the long run, but just so you guys know, this week we had a little downturn of global liquidity. The funny thing I want to say about this is also, like I said last week, this is the way how to value, how to measure global liquidity. And funnily enough, I saw a couple of tweets this week of people saying, yeah, global liquidity is going up this week, blah, blah, blah. They're using charts of TradingView. For example, one was Pentoshi, he got like 900k followers, and he posts just TradingView global liquidity chart saying, yeah, global liquidity went up this week, which is not true at all. And it's funny that even these big accounts, these guys that know a lot in crypto, make these macro tweets that just don't make any sense. So if you want to follow global liquidity, just look at Michael Howell's data, and it went a bit downwards this week, but nothing to worry about.
Okay, nice.
Moving on. So what happened was the EU cut their rates again by 25 basis points. This is very important. Well, this is normal. So this was calculated in. This was priced in. But why is this important? And I say this every week, that the world leaders don't want currency volatility. So what does this mean is if the EU cuts their interest rates, the US has to follow. And so I showed this chart as well last week. So we see here the drop in the 25 basis front from the EU. So the US now will have to cut their interest rates again. Because if they don't cut them, there will be too much currency volatility between the US and the euro. And that's especially that is not good. So we see it here as well. Still 90% in favor of a 25 basis point cut, 10% of no cut. So I think it's about the same as last week. I think last week it was 10.4 or something. So now it dropped 1% in favor of the cut. Mm-hmm. So I think this is good news for Bitcoin, because I'm pretty sure they will have the cut. But right now all the eyes are on the elections. Yeah, go ahead.
The funny thing will be, this is 2 days after the elections, I think.
That's what I wanted to show, yeah.
So people, the cut, let's say the cut happens, price reacts to it, people will be like, oh, it was the election result that caused the volatility 2 days later, but it will be the cut.
It will be both.
I think people will say, oh, look, the elections caused the volatility. Well, I think it will be the cut that is a spark for the volatility. And a little insight that I think that will happen. A little prediction. Go right ahead. You were probably going to go ETFs, I think, next.
No, well, before we continue, I see a couple of guys in chat. So hello, G Armo, and hello, Kerasus286. So thank you for joining the stream. And so if you guys have any questions, just put out a comment and we'll answer it right here on stream. No, what I wanted to say is, so not the ETFs. I didn't put up the ETFs this week. I wanted to talk a little bit more macro and more about the S&P, because the closer we get to the elections, the closer you have to look at what the S&P is doing. That's very, very important. And one chart, I think I showed it a month ago or two, and this is the updated version, is normally, well, historically, the last 4 election cycles, we saw a drop days and weeks before the election, what we're not seeing at the moment. So currently, we're going up into election fear, which is crazy to me. You wanted to say anything, Zirkul?
Yeah, this is very concerning. Either our price is or we're printing another data set here that's invalidating the previous 3 data sets, or we're about to correct very soon.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'm thinking.
But the reason why I think we're good in the long term is just because of the global liquidity. And no matter who's in office, the liquidity and the debt will need to be rolled over, and there will be massive money printing. The rate's gonna go down, so there will be a lot of liquidity into the system that will just go to risk assets and Bitcoin. So I think Bitcoin is looking very strong this year. And what's remarkable as well, I don't know if it's my next slide or not, here, and this is also, we're invalidating another metric. So as you can see here, the dollar is overbought as well, which is crazy to me, because we're going up. So Bitcoin is going up into an area where the dollar is overbought as well. But normally we know that Bitcoin does well when the dollar is trending downwards. But now, even while the dollar is going strong and up, Bitcoin is going up, which is crazy as well. So we'll have to see about that as well. That's something else that usually doesn't happen, and we'll see how this will play out. So normally the dollar needs to cool down a little bit, but then Bitcoin will go even higher. So which is obviously super bullish for Bitcoin as well, that we pumped, even though the DXY was pumping as well.
Nothing stops this train, like Eldon says.
Yeah, exactly. I think if you don't have any Bitcoin, just buy some, because I think 2025 is going to be an extremely good year for Bitcoin and crypto. So another thing talking about the S&P is, this one is a bearish thing. So what I did when I was investing in stocks before I did in crypto, so I've been in stocks when I was 18 years old, so that's now 11 years ago. And basically one of the metrics I always looked at were what the insiders were doing. Because as you know, nobody can really beat the stock market. And it's even proven that 95% of even the hedge funds, so the best traders in the world, cannot even beat the index. So basically what I tried to do then was look what the insiders are doing, because the insiders in a company, they know what the features the company is going to launch. They know how it's going on in the company, and well, basically they know more than us. And this is a very good indicator, basically, of the S&P, all the companies, the corporate insider buys. And at the moment, the insiders are buying at the lowest level since 2 years ago. And we always see this. So if we look at this metric from 10 years, so in the span of 10 years, we always see when the insiders buying is at the lowest, S&P is trending downwards a little bit. We saw this in 2015. We saw this in 2021. And I don't know if we're going to see this right now.
Yep, so a little caution here.
So this is the only data, the only metric I found that was a bit bearish at the moment. And I don't think this is like a small metric. I think it's kind of important what the insiders are doing. And the insiders are not buying at the moment. So do with it what you will. I don't say buy, I don't say sell. Currently what I'm doing, and just mostly Bitcoin related, because this is a Bitcoin stream, so I was 100% all in. This week I sold 20%. That's just what I'm doing. I'm not saying what you guys have to do. I'm just saying how I'm positioning myself.
I've already cut 5% of my trading positions, my core bag holdings. I'll only trim when we're above 100,000, I think. I'm okay to ride that volatility. It's not leveraged, right? It's just in my cold wallet, so if it goes up or it goes down, it doesn't really matter. But for my trading positions, I did cut 5% of my my Bitcoin swing from below 60,000, and I'm gonna cut another 25% between basically here and 72,000.
Yeah.
We can do that more on the charts.
Yeah, you can talk about it later a bit. And so what I wanted to say, and I talked about this in the beginning of the stream as well. So as I guys told you, PrimeXBT is sponsoring the stream. But I don't have to show this right now, but I think this is really interesting, is that you can buy the S&P, you can trade the S&P short or long on PrimeXBT. And this is one of the only crypto exchanges that allows you to buy stocks or indexes on their crypto platform. So you can just send crypto on the platform and then go long or short the the S&P, which I think is really interesting. That's something I wanted to show you guys because I think this is very, very interesting and something you can do on Prime, for example.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, this was my macro part. I have only 2 things to say about Bitcoin, and then it's up to you, Zero Cool. So one thing I wanted to mention, and this is a very good indicator. So as you guys know, I like to talk about the miners every week because the miners are like the most important thing in the Bitcoin network. They basically run the Bitcoin network and they provide the electricity for it. And surprisingly, the miner reserves are at an all-time low. Well, I don't know, like a really all-time low, but if you just look back 1 year, it's the lowest it's this year. And as you can see, since the halving, so the halving was right here, the miner reserves dropped about 4%. And if we measure that next to the hash ribbons indicator from Capital Investments, so, and I talked about this in July as well, so we had the buy of the miner capitulation right here in August. But funnily enough, so the miners then had a lot more reserves, but then they were capitulating again from July till September. And now they're in the capitulation zone again. And as you can see, lowest reserves ever. And most of the times, this is a good opportunity to buy Bitcoin when the miners' reserves are low and when they are capitulating. It didn't print a buy signal yet. A buy signal will print when the hash rate will go up again for a couple of days. And then we will get the buy signal. But you can basically front run that by buying now, to be honest, because you know the hash rate will probably go up afterwards. So you can imagine already there is the buy signal right now. You don't really have to wait for it because mostly then you're too late. Then the best buy opportunity happened already.
The reason why this is important is because miners are the biggest holders of Bitcoin outside of DTFs now. And they slush around the price if you see heavy selling pressure from miners, and this prints the capitulation points on the hash ribbons. There is heavy selling. That selling slows down and even reverses, as you can see in the chart. And they I don't say that they determine the price of Bitcoin, but they're the one with the most selling pressure. So if they stop selling, the natural cause of that is that the price just drifts up. And the capitulation point has been printed, meaning that according to the metric, which is the hash rate against the price, I think.
Yeah.
Is
no, it's just the hash rate.
Yeah, it's just the hash rate. Yeah, it printed that they already capitulated, so it should bottom out. The selling pressure should slow down or start slowing down, and then price should drift up, which is another bullish metric.
Yeah, this is one of the most bullish metrics in crypto in my eyes, because I think at the moment there is $8 billion natural selling pressures each year from the miners. So which means, so what does natural selling pressure mean is that the miners have to sell every year to be able to pay their electricity and to pay their equipment. So it's natural selling pressure because it has to happen to pay their electricity and to be able for the companies to function. And we're already seeing the selling right now. So basically, so Nick X Crypto asked, miner reserves so low is because they sold pre-halving or just because the halving reduced rewards? So it's not because of they sold before the halving, because as you can see, the halving is right here. So they didn't really sell before the halving. The thing is just they need to be able now after the halving to upgrade their equipment to be able to have the same return, because now they have half the return they had before the halving, because since the halving halved their rewards and they have the same equipment, but the hash rate is at the same level, so they only have the half of the reward for the same electricity they use. So they have to be able to pay all their equipment. They even have to upgrade their equipment. So that's why they sold their Bitcoins right now. So mostly miners don't sell Bitcoin because they know Bitcoin will move up because that's why they're in the business, and they tend to sell it like early after the halvings, just to be able to upgrade their equipment, pay for everything, and then when everything is cleared up, when their equipment is improved, mostly it's a couple of months after the halving, then they're good again. But there's a lot of miners just going out of business because they cannot continue with this process, and each year, every 4 years, the halving, they cannot sustain it, and it's like the best and most efficient miners just will win.
Yeah, it's a very hard business to run. You can, like, I used to mine crypto way back 10, 12 years ago. Very amateuristic hobby type thing. But if you do that on scale, there's so much to think about and to, like, so much upkeep, because you're not running graphics cards for starters. You're running actual, like, I forgot the name, the units. They look like power supplies, basically. You're running like 100,000s of those, right? Just that alone, you need staff for upkeep. Yeah, a lot of upkeep. If you upgrade machinery, there's new problems, there's new complications that you didn't factor in, and it all costs money. That's why they're capitulating now. Basically, I think it's a very, very brief summary of it.
And then, so as we know, miner reserves at an all-time low, which is bullish. And then I wanted to show this next to the balance on exchanges, which is as well on an all-time low. So the balance of the Bitcoin on the exchanges is again as well at an all-time low as the miner Bitcoin. So both of these metrics are super bullish for Bitcoin. And I think the price will just move upwards. Maybe this is one of the reasons as well why we saw the move up in Bitcoin. Maybe it's not only the elections. Maybe it's just as well these metrics and the ETFs and everything that plays a role in it.
Mm-hmm. I think ETFs are a big one because I think BlackRock bought like $1 billion worth of Bitcoin this week. If you like tell us that 5 years ago that BlackRock is gonna buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, everybody will think you're crazy. But an insane metric that they hit today, I think, or this week.
All right, Zero Cool, I'm ready. I'm gonna give the mic over to you.
Yeah. First thing I wanted to say regarding the last slides with the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges. The very first rule if you enter in crypto and Bitcoin is if it's not your private keys, it's not your Bitcoin. If you buy Bitcoin on an exchange and you leave it there, it is not your Bitcoin. It is the exchange's Bitcoin where you have access to it. You need to withdraw it to a wallet, cold wallet. There's plenty of options. I'm sure Jack will do a video or has a video upcoming or planned to make around cold wallets. But you need to withdraw it. And the withdrawing your Bitcoin is like the exchange reserve going down. Ideally, this should always like fluctuate up and down, and now it's in a downward spiral. So the idea how this would be bullish is that there's less to sell on the exchanges. I don't really believe that that's like a one-on-one correlation. This line for me means that people are accumulating Bitcoin, basically. You buy it, you withdraw it, you keep it on a cold wallet, and you don't touch it. So first rule of crypto, not your keys, not your Bitcoin.
So Nick X from Twitch got a very nice comment as well, and I thought about it at the same time I was speaking about it. So he says, I am just scared that if small miners will eventually die halving after halving, we risk to concentrate the hashing power in the hands of a few huge mining companies. So decentralization could be less decentralized. And that's 100% true. And exactly that was the reason we saw in 2017 the block wars. I don't know if you guys were around back then, but it was super funny because there were every couple of weeks there was like a new Bitcoin clone that came out, and then when you held Bitcoin, you just received the other coins as well. So it was basically free money for a time in 2017. But basically, what the thing was that some companies wanted to have a bigger block size so that it would cost less for the miners to buy it, because then everything would be in the same block. And well, yeah, so the original Bitcoin chain won, and we currently have this system that it costs a lot to mine Bitcoin. But then on the other hand, so it's It's like the blockchain trilemma. So on the other hand, because it's less decentralized, sorry, I'm explaining it wrong. So because of that, it's more secure because now it costs way more to hack Bitcoin.
Attack, a 51% attack on the network.
Yeah.
But decentralization, yes, it's a good point. But I think just like what is Bitcoin going to push from like 100, 200,000 to 1 million is nation states entering. And I think that is the same with mining. The next big evolutionary step in mining is not a publicly or a private traded company mining Bitcoin, it's countries mining Bitcoin. And let's say Trump is crazy enough to do the Bitcoin reserve thing, and he puts 10, 20, $100 billion worth of Bitcoin in a reserve. He has a financial motive to secure that, and that will be by mining. And therefore, if China starts to mine, he only has the option to expand his mining to secure his bag.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Trump's afraid of. And I think that's something, but now we're going too much off topic, what the CIA and every three-letter agency is looking into. There's a very good research paper from, what's his name, Jason Lowry. It's called Soft War, and it's like a banned research paper. It's a book, so he published a book as well, but they banned it. The copies go on eBay for like 10K. And basically what he explained is that every nation state will have to mine Bitcoin, and that there will be a soft war, an electricity war basically, between every nation state in the world mining Bitcoin. And I didn't read it, but I think that's a summary. But basically that's your point, Nikix Crypto, that we're moving into a world where the wars will be fought with electricity. And Bitcoin plays a role in that, and the mining of Bitcoin plays a role in that. But I think that's for way down the future. And let's go back on topic, and Zero Cool, let's do your trading because we're going from trading to nation states and
books. Oh, it's a very interesting topic, honestly. All right, let's throw out my chart and let's do some trading.
You can go, Zero Cool.
All right, guys, you wouldn't believe it. We're still in a range like this. Still in range.
Did we make a higher high yet, or
in theory, if you want to be really correct, the high is over here. We didn't make a higher high
yet. Not yet, right?
But we made an inner higher high. First this, and then this. So it's still in this inside candle. So technically, it's not a higher high, but yeah, the consensus is this high gets taken out, right? That's the next obvious target. Insane, nice reaction from like 60K, right? We can see it was defended. A sweep, reclaim, leg up, and then this price action here really reminds me of pre-ETF, where we just like trended up and went up. That's the vibe I'm getting here. And especially if I turn on volume, this whipsaw candle on the 4 hour here, see how much volume is over this. If you zoom out, it's been a long time since we had such volume on the 4 hour. So yeah, I think we're just gonna trend up and go. But that's predictions. Let's see what the chart is telling us, right? Inside candle, not a higher high, but a very good start to attack 70K, right? I don't think it will happen on the weekend. Like we say every stream, weekends, less volatility, less volume. Market makers are not asleep, but they don't turn on their algos that correlate with the stocks. So sideways activities, I probably honestly think we'll even dip down a little bit, maybe for very nasty take out this low at 66K, but nothing to worry about yet on a macro level or on a bigger zoomed out level. Something I saw on Twitter not too long ago, this is a 2021 all-time high, which we tagged.
I sold there. I got this line on my chart like since then basically, and I put a sell order there and it hit. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Also, like I said, I also took like a bit lower. I think 67,800 is where I sold like 5% of my swing position, purely because we were up like almost 10% from the last drop. While I do believe, like Jack, we're gonna see 100,000, and it wouldn't even surprise me at this point that it's before New Year. I'm just not comfortable holding way more of a bigger position with higher leverage than I'm used to. Like I've been preaching it stream after stream. Don't go 20x, don't go 50x. Keep below 10x. Even 10x is way too much. 10% move. Not even a 10% move kills you on a 10x leverage. Don't go above 3. Go above 2, 3 maximum. And sure, if you start out with small capital, you're not gonna make $1 million by trading spot or X2 or X3, but that's how you learn, and it's experience that helps you with like being years in the market, staring endlessly hours at these charts that help you gain confidence when to scale up, when to size up, when it looks the darkest. You need to scale up, right?
Buy when there's blood in the streets.
Exactly. We took out that high here, and now we're taking out this high here. Very bullish for upwards continuation. All the metrics are there for upwards continuation, honestly. I think it's a matter of time before we test 70,000. And then we'll see what the reaction is, right? You already took 20% off, way more than me. I agree we should be risk off into the elections, but this price action here makes me so bullish. Like I'm refusing to trim up here purely because this is so bullish. There's like no way we trend down for another 2 weeks like this before we attack 70,000 after the elections. It's possible. It's something you should not not see as a possibility. Everything is possible basically in crypto.
Because I also think like both parties will have their their gunpowder ready to fire on the other opponents just in the last week. Then they will fire everything, and there will be so much uncertainty in the markets. It will be crazy.
Yep. No, I agree. I was thinking something. I was trying to think of something. Yeah, rounding up here and then doing something like this is reasonable, but I'd like to see it before the elections. And then after a spike up into 70,000, and if we start idling there, then yeah, I don't think elections will matter, and then we'll shoot before elections.
I think I saw when we will reach 72K 400, there will be massive liquidations, like enormously.
So a big liquidity goes around 70. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just gonna scale down between. I've tweeted this. It's not a secret. 79,420 and 70,000. This is where I'm gonna take 25% of my position of Bitcoin, and most likely a little bit of Ethereum as well. Ethereum I didn't touch, so something we can go over later. Bitcoin I have a bigger Ethereum position than Bitcoin, unfortunately. If you look at ETH BTC, it's down only. It's pure pain, but it is what it is. We're here to talk about Bitcoin at the moment. So yeah, I'm super bullish. Even short term, I think we take out 70,000 before we have a little mean reversion. And how do you enter this with your sidelines? Like we've said, every stream you should be allocated. If you don't have Bitcoin now, not even to trade with, go buy some Bitcoin, please. Just buy some Bitcoin. Protect your dollars. Go look at some Michael Saylor highlight clips where he tells people that if you're holding in fiat, all those people poor. Well, exaggeration. I wouldn't call people poor because of their financial decisions. Mostly it's because they're not educated around Bitcoin.
But to be honest, now you're talking about Bitcoin, but I spoke about this with a friend of mine yesterday, and why do people... So for example, there was a dude we talked about, he got like 40K on his bank account, just in fiat. He didn't do anything for about 5 years now, doesn't do anything. It's so crazy. And I wouldn't call it necessarily poor, but it's such a stupid decision that you just hold all your money into fiat. And yeah, you can say, yeah, but I don't like to take the risk. But it's even more riskier to just have your money in an asset, well, a currency that devalues every year. Like 2% is a minimum, but during COVID, we saw it devaluing by 10%. So don't, if you don't want to invest in Bitcoin because it's too risky, just do something, buy real estate or buy into all world funds, an ETF, or just Bitcoin, but do something.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the SPX index, the Stock index. If you zoom out on a monthly level, I mean, sure, if you buy the Pico top in like 2000s, it's gonna take 13 years before you get a return. But overall, this chart is like most. This is up only, right? Basically,
There's a very good quote that I like about that, and it goes like this: so there has been more money lost in anticipation of an election, in anticipation of a recession, than in the recession itself. So basically, the moment you wait, you lose way more opportunity costs than in the actual drop of let's say 20%. So that's a very, very good quote, and just because it's true.
Yeah, and then the other famous quote: "The best traders are dead traders because they don't sell or trade."
That's just a fact.
That's not even like, it's just there's been studies on that. Like, the best performing traders are people who died because they don't touch their portfolio. And that's why I'm pretty all in on Coinbase. I know we're really diverging now. Look at that daily or monthly candle on Coinbase, even the weekly candle, beautiful daily candles. Without a joke, 98% of my portfolio in outside of crypto for stocks is
in crypto.
is in crypto. It is a direct one-on-one exposure to Bitcoin and crypto itself without having crypto. And yeah, I'm fully allocated to this because, again, when we did these streams, we talked about what chart patterns we want to see in the future, and they're either coins that are doing this, if they're new, or if they've been around for a while, it's coins that have put in a top, put in a base, and then are trending upwards, which basically is you put in your top, you put in your base, and then you start trending up. And the most obvious next one is this. And even if you buy here and do this,
and I even think during alt season, Coinbase will even outperform more because of just retail will be coming in.
They are adding new features that is not luring in people, but like more up to the standards of the scene, when they went from 10x to 20x, even on the professional corporate accounts. I think you can now go 20x, which should just drive more volume, which is the more volume there is on Coinbase, the more Coinbase stock is going to be worth. Anyhow, indirect exposure to.
We got 3 comments, and I wanted to say this right now because it can be a follow-up on what you were showing. We got Nick X Crypto in Twitch, and then 2 comments on YouTube from Rage Jedi and G Armo. So the first one I'm going to take is Rage Jedi is saying, how would you play this with your IRA? Act, no point of doing stonks if BTC beta is highest return. I think that's one that you can maybe respond better to, Zero Cool, because I'm not really 100% sure how the IRA works, because it's in the US, right?
Yeah, it's in US thing, and I think it's like your tax-free savings account in Canada, sort of same system, I think, where you can allocate it, and it's like a retirement fund type thing. I'm not sure if you can. I'm not American, so I don't know the laws. I don't know like the ins and outs of it. It's a bit hard to answer, but
you can just buy the ETFs or something, no?
Yeah, you can buy ETFs if you. I'm not sure if you can put coin in your IRA.
I'm pretty sure you can put the ETFs in it.
Yeah, ETFs. I'm 100% sure you can do that, because that's the main volume, I believe, behind the ETFs. like sure, BlackRock buys $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, but BlackRock needs to sell that ETF product that now holds $1 billion more worth of Bitcoin, right? So, and they sell that to funds, and those funds put that in their client's IRA, I think.
I think the ETF is a pretty good thing to put into your IRA, because I think you get some sort of bonus instead of just holding Bitcoin. So the only negative thing with an ETF is that you pay annual fee. But I think at the moment it's pretty low. So if you have your IRA bonus, which I think you have, I'm not honestly I'm not sure. I'm from Belgium. It doesn't work like that at all here. But I think the best thing you can do is just buy into the Bitcoin ETFs, or even MicroStrategy, which is also a beta play on Bitcoin. It's even like a leveraged Bitcoin play. We're seeing that right now. MicroStrategy is already in all-time high, or Coinbase. But I think Bitcoin ETFs is a good play as well.
Yep. All right. You have more questions?
Yeah, so there was one from G Armo. So most of retail have been super bullish for a couple of weeks now. Don't you think we get a flush before hitting the 70K plus liquidity?
That would be a bearish argument. Yes, I agree we've been bullish, but there's a big difference between the sentiment is bullish and the market is bullish, right? I think we are into a bullish market of the very start of it. Like this leg up might be the final one that sends us to all-time high finally. I think it's grossly underestimated how much retail buys when like volume picks up.
I honestly don't think retail is here yet.
Like a candle like this, the 4-hour candle with volume like this indicates there is a lot of interest. Well, it's also a lot of liquidations on this, but that's another thing. The more liquidations, the more retail interest there is, right? But it's a valid argument, but it's debatable if retail is here. It's true. One of the metrics that we track, or you can track, is like the Coinbase app, how high it is in the store, and then you also have like Moonshot and other wallets where people are trading from, Bybit, Binance, OKX. There's a bundle of apps on your phone that you can trade with, I guess. Crypto, direct or indirect.
Nick X Crypto says no retail around source. Trust me, bro. And actually, I got a source, and I was hesitant to show it to you guys on the stream today, but I thought, yeah, no one will be interested. I will not show it. And so I don't have it pulled up. But basically, the source is the Google Trends. And so the Google searches for Bitcoin is at an all-time low, which is the source of retail not being there, because no one is looking for Bitcoin in Google, which is the source that retail is not here yet to buy Bitcoin. Because else we know during alt season, during like big Bitcoin booms, we see the Google Trends going up, and that's a metric. When that is too high, then it's a time to sell. But at the moment, it's an all-time high, all-time low, which is a good time to buy if you're following the metric of is retail there or not.
Yeah, go to your local newspaper, the biggest one, and type Bitcoin or crypto in their search thing, and see how many articles recently popped up. I think when we started doing the stream, I started to de-risk into like 60 and 70K after the leg from 50, because all the articles that were popping up on the local newspapers, like, Bitcoin's in the news for this, Bitcoin's in the news for that. And then people watch the news who read the newspapers. That's your retail user that normally has no crypto exposure outside of the newspaper telling you there's, Bitcoin is up 20%, and that's their exposure. So I don't think, I haven't checked it, but I'm pretty sure I haven't seen any like flood of news from my local newspaper or news agency, whatever, around crypto. So for me, that's another sign that there isn't really yet retail coming in, or it's here.
Yeah. Did you have anything to say about technical analysis on Bitcoin? Or
if you're not in spot, buy spots, and let's quickly draw some lines. We'll zoom in a little bit. Like I've said, I think we're in that ETF phase like a couple of months ago, where we're just drifting up. So like just drawing lines where you would expect liquidity to be. these are areas of interest to buy, honestly, but I think we're gonna do exactly like, I don't know if I can go back that far, probably. Was it here? Yeah, here. I think we're gonna do exactly this. None of these ever got run short term, not even long term. But these are all unleft liquidity spots where you're like, oh, I'm gonna wait until it dips, and then I'm gonna wait until it dips, and it just keeps going up. And the price action that we feel now is so indicative to what's happening here. I get like these vibes, honestly. I think there's even a one-on-one correlation with a candle, but I just don't know which one it was. There was like a whipsaw event where we just whipsawed and then trended upwards. Not this, this is a recovery. Actually, this is not even, is this ETF already? No. This is way later. No, you're right, no, this is the ETF. Sorry, I think this is the ETF price action. See, lows, they never get run. Trend up. So basically, this same vibe as this is what I'm feeling now. It's tingling in my body, watching the charts for thousands and thousands and thousands of hours. Unfortunately, it is something like they say you need 10,000 hours in a craft or a sport before you can like master it, and then stuff comes intuitively. This is what I'm feeling, like sideways up, vertical accumulation, and then full send. And that's kind of what I'm feeling now. Vertical accumulation into full send. Now, if you're not positioned yet, yeah, of course I'm bidding. And where am I bidding? Over here, below this, like from I think 35.7. Sorry, a little box. 35.7 until 60,000. This is where I'm bidding. Super wide. Chances we run it are honestly pretty low. But yeah, if we do flush and go for these lows, I think it will go lower than people expect, because people are super bullish. People are starting to target 10K. We're saying 100,000. We're not saying 100,000 next week. We're saying maybe end of year, but definitely it is gonna happen. It's almost inevitable at this point, bar some super bad events, war, or crypto gets hacked for some reason. Supercomputers can break decryption, which is absolutely not possible at this point. But yeah, a dip like this, I'm personally waiting for a dip into the third and fourth line for bidding, and I am long from, well, sub 6 long here from like when we did that stream. I also got a little long open from 67.5, I think, from around here. And the obvious stop, if you're long from here, is, say you're targeting 72,000. And you've entered here, like, oh, it's trending up, I should put my stop loss break even or below the lows. Then the obvious first liquidity is going to be below these lows, right? So the first spot you should bid or can bid, depending on how bullish you are and how much risk you want to take, is below these lows. You layer your bids like this, and then you can skew it, like divide it over evenly, so your entry point is in the middle, and then yeah, your stop is your risk appetite, right? If you go X2, X3, let's say you get X2, so give it 50%, then your liquidation is 33,000. If we're going below like 60, you can already kiss the bull market goodbye, I think, and we're extended stop. And below 50, it's like goodbye bull market. All in general, it's no more chop, it's just a downtrend, and the uptrend is really broken. And then yeah, but again, you can enter this with an X2 and don't have a stop. Sure, it will hurt if we go like super flush and go back, but then you start adding below here and here and here, from like X2 to X4, maybe tops X3. But this is the first entry point I would be looking at. And then same over here, right? Just below your obvious stops. Like this is a liquidity. This is a liquidity. Build positions below here. Like this. That's how I was trading. And I have my bid set between 63,700 and 60,000. Super wide. This is super wide.
So you're only looking to long at the moment, not looking for shorts, or?
Oh no. If I short, it is it's a grab of liquidity above 70,000. Like basically our very first chart that we drawn when we got back, which was over here. Our prediction was we're gonna stall around, or my prediction was this is a big level where we're gonna stall, and you can see it claimed it. It tested it. It bounced, it tested it again, it swept the lows, and then it yeeted off to the next thing. Sure, it's not precisely this level. If you want to redraw this correctly, it would be something like this, I guess, but it doesn't really matter. Point being, this was a point of interest that we had on our charts. Now we're over here almost. I do think I'm expecting a little more, but from over here, fill that base and send, or reclaim it, or like go into it, lose it, chop and down. This is a short setup I would look for. If we do 70,000 or even like all-time high into back to 70,000, that would be a short setup that I do for a swing position or for over days, hours.
All right. Want to do the predictions because I want to keep it under 1 hour, and so we got 4 minutes left.
Oh, and then we still need to do alts, but we can speedrun alts. Predictions and then speedrun alts.
No, let's do alts next week because I think it's better if we take our time for that as well.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Because it's a question from Nick X Crypto that I didn't take. So he said not even think about alts right now, full on BTC at the moment. I'd say let's talk about that next week. Next week we're gonna prepare some alts and tell you guys which altcoins we are personally invested in. And which we would suggest to buy to you guys. But let's do our predictions.
Yeah, this is a chart. Yeah, this is a chart.
You were here, sir. So Zero Cool, 7 for you. You won.
Give me that 7. Can we check how much the price is off my line?
It's like...
Is that by $116? Ooh.
You're on 0.26% correct. It's crazy. Your predictions these last weeks and months are crazy. You're like nailing it. So tell us, what do you think the price is going to be next week?
Same level. I think we wick into 72,000 and then go down.
I'm going to do the same. What does my squiggly say? 67.
It's very tight, huh?
I just think we're going to range. I think this week will be a bit boring. I think boring or down. I don't think we will hit all-time highs. Maybe we get to the highs, but we will not run past them. We will go down again. So that's what I'm thinking.
We're basically risk off into the election, and every day closer to the election is a bigger risk, having a lot of exposure.
Risk off, but not bearish.
Yeah, I think that should be the stream title as well.
Yeah. All
Going
right.
a little risk off, but not bearish. Overall,
I was showing your stream, your screen again. So yeah, but it doesn't really matter. So here are our predictions. So Zero Cool set his line at 68 and mine is at 67.
Yep, those are our predictions for next week.
All right, guys, we're 1 hour in. Yeah, just go ahead.
One thing. If Bitcoin starts running for all-time high and higher, there will be like a liquidity black hole, and it's going to suck the liquidity out of all the alts. I think it's then when you start buying alts if you're not allocated yet.
Yeah.
Bitcoin will, if Bitcoin pumps super hard, puts in a God candle, your alts will follow, but not as hard as Bitcoin. I think it's then on the drawdown and the rejection or the whiplash on the Bitcoin, the alts go down. That's when you buy your alts if you're looking to buy some alts. And that's it.
So just a quick shout out to Nick X Crypto, G Armo, Kerasus, Raged, Yedai for all your comments, or in Twitch or on YouTube or in X. Thank you very much. So we had a really good conversation with the chat today. It was very nice. If you guys watch this this VOD after the stream, so we put it live on YouTube right after it, so I'm gonna put timestamps on it as well. But if you guys want to be live with us on the stream, if you guys want to ask a question, a comment, be here every Saturday, 1 p.m. Central European time. I'm here every Saturday with Zero Cool. And yeah, that's about it. Like I said, so we're sponsored by PrimeXBT. If you don't have an account yet, the way for you guys to help us and to make a contribution to the stream is to use the link into the description and make an account. And like we said, so we're going to make a Discord as well. And if you made the sign up with the link, then you guys can enter the Discord. I hope it will be ready by next week. I was just super busy. I'm sorry that the Discord is not out yet. So I was super busy with, for example, the Michael Howell video, which will go live next week. It will be a really, really crazy video. So the guys that follow me really know that I went to London to interview the king of global liquidity, Michael Howell, so the person that really made the global liquidity cycle and which I use his data every week. The interview is super good. I think it will be his best interview yet. He revealed a lot of things. He talked about Bitcoin, which was very, very crazy. I tried to put it online by next week. I'm guessing Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday or Friday. But yeah, so, and then the Discord will be ready hopefully next week as well. So you guys can chat with us in Discord, which is very cool as well. I'm looking forward to that as well. And last thank you is to you, Zero Cool. So thank you to be here every Saturday, to use an hour of your time and to just give your free alpha to all the listeners.
I personally, I use this as a reflection to how I should position. This is basically my hour, dedicated hour, where I not force myself. I'm into crypto 24/7 basically, but I use this as analysis for myself to like, how should I position? How should I think about it? Your insights into macro really help. Like, I wouldn't be risk off into elections if we didn't talk about it week in, week out, for example.
Well, let's hope it doesn't go up then. No,
I'm okay with it going up. Yeah. I'm not cutting from my core position, my cold wallets. I'm cutting in my trading. So less profit is still profit, basically.
And then next week, we're going to show our altcoin positions. But at the moment, I'm mostly into Bitcoin. I'm waiting on the election to finish to be more allocated to altcoins. But I still have a couple of bags, and I'll let you guys know next week.
I'm pretty spread. I think if you watched my stream on the TradingView trading lists, all down below, you can see most of my altcoins already. I think the only one we added was Spec or something. But now we're going over our time, sorry.